Welcome back class. So last time we learned about the double sideband suppressed carrier, okay, modulation, and we know that we can do the demodulation by multiplying the modulated signal with the carrier, and then we pass through the low pass filter and we will get this output signal which will be our message signal. And last time I told you that basically because we need the carrier here, so the frequency and the phase, okay, the frequency and the phase of carrier must be synchronized with the uh, modulating signal, okay, for the efficient perfect demodulation, okay, otherwise we will have the synchronization issues, okay. So let's have a look at the in more details about the synchronization problem, okay. Let's say that we have the double sideband suppressed carrier signal which we can write okay like this one, okay. So we have a message signal and we have a carrier signal, okay. This is general form, okay. So what we actually do here, we have the like double sideband suppressed carrier. In the demodulation we multiply with this carrier, right? And then here we will get V of t output, and then we pass through a low pass filter and we get this output, okay. So let's say this is our double sideband suppressed carrier signal, okay, modulating signal. We multiply with this carrier, and here we assume that in the carrier we have a phase plus theta phase, okay, like plus 30 40 whatever you like. So this double sideband, this signal, it will be multiplied with this carrier, okay, which has 0 degree phase, okay. This have 30 degree and this is 0 degree, so we have some phase shift between the carriers, so we multiply them. So basically what we'll get here, AC SM of t, this is like modulating signal and this is my carrier signal. And here if you apply the cosine identity, okay, so the very famous cosine identity, like if the two cosine signal, for example theta 1 and theta 2 are multiplied, so we know that we can write them as cosine of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus cosine of theta 1 minus theta 2. So if we apply this identity here, like this is theta 1 and this is theta 2, and we do some simplification, we will get this thing, okay. So this is just the output. So we get this thing here, and after that we have to apply a low pass filter. So when we will apply the low pass filter, so it will filter out the low frequency component. So low frequency component are basically this component, right? So basically this equation can be written as AC over 2 Sm of t sine of theta plus AC over 2 Sm of t sine of 2 omega ct plus theta. So when it will go through the low pass filter, then what will happen, okay, low pass filter will filter out the low frequency component, only this one, okay, and our output will become only AC over 2 Sm of t cosine of theta. So if you look at this signal now, what is actually happening here, okay, we get message signal, fine, okay, amplitude is little bit reduced, fine, but we get a multiplier factor of cosine of theta, okay. So this theta factor is basically reducing your amplitude of the output signal, okay. For example, let's say for example if theta, okay, this is cosine of theta, okay. Now for example if theta become 90 degree, okay, then what will happen, cosine of 90 degree, it will be 0. So basically your output will be 0. So this is a special case, okay. The purpose is, for example, now if the phase are not synchronized, okay, carrier phase is 0 and this signal have a phase shift of any phase, okay, and like if this phase difference is 90 degree, you will get no output signal, okay, although you have modulated double sideband input signal, but there will be no output signal. So that's why it is very important that both the phase and the frequency, okay, of the carrier and the modulated signal should be synchronized, should be same, otherwise we will get a wrong output, okay, otherwise there will be a problem with the demodulated signal, okay. So that will this is an example of the lack of phase synchronization if we have phase problem. And if we have frequency problem, let's have a look at that. Let's say double sideband, we are multiply with the carrier, and the carrier we add some frequency shift, okay, delta omega. Okay, for example, if original frequency is 2, I add, okay, let's say there is a shift of 0.5 in that frequency. Okay, multiply and then use the identity, also same identity. Okay, cosine of theta 1 and theta 2, like theta 1 and theta 2, apply, we will get this one. Now here if you apply the low pass filter, so we will get this thing, right? This is the low frequency component, omega c high frequency component. So that will be the output of the low pass filter. Again, know what is happening here. Okay, message signal multiplied with the cosine of frequency shift. So whatever frequency or phase shift we have, we get that multiplier here. Okay, now again, if the frequency shift is like higher or lesser, okay, it will affect our output signal. Okay, this is not our exact signal, is only this one, only message signal. So we are getting a multiplier here. Okay, so this is a very big issues. Okay, now to avoid this, okay, the solution, what is the solution for this? Okay, so to avoid this, we used a circuit which is called synchronizer. Okay, what will synchronizer will do? It will take your input modulating signal, okay, for example double sideband suppressed carrier modulating signal, okay, and synchronizer will basically extract the carrier from this signal. Okay, it will extract the carrier. Okay, for example, if the modulating signal carrier is omega CT plus 30 degree, so this synchronizer will actually extract this carrier. Okay, so it will give us cosine of omega CT plus 30 degree. Okay, so once the carrier is extracted, then we will multiply this signal with this carrier. So it will be exactly same synchronized carrier. There will be no issue of the phase or frequency because we have extracted the carrier from the modulating signal. So that is the basic operation of this synchronizer. Okay, how it will operate? Let's have a look. Let's say this is our message signal, and let's say this is our modulating double sideband suppressed carrier. Okay, message multiply with the carrier signal. Okay, now the synchronizer, how it will operate? First of all, what will we do? This is our modulating signal, we will take it square. Okay, we will take it this square. So what is our message signal? AC AM, sorry, modulating signal omega m of t sine of omega ct, right? This is our modulating signal. So we will take it square. So this is the first thing, we take it square. Then we will use the PLL, phase lock loop. Okay, and then we use a band pass filter. Okay, so the purpose is phase lock loop is just to lock the phases. Okay, so basically see what is actually happening here. Cosine this and cosine this, and if you apply this identity cosine square of omega t, this will be equal to 1 plus cosine of 2 times of omega t divided by 2. Okay, so if you apply here and you apply here, so we will get this cosine of 2 omega mt, cosine of 2 omega ct, and 1 over 2 multiply will be 1 over 4. Okay, and then if you do the cross here multiplications here, so 1, we will get this equation cosine of 2 omega t, omega ct, and their multipliers. Okay, and again here if you apply cosine theta 1 and theta 2 identity, we will get this output. Okay, so after that what will we do? Okay, basically what is our target? Our target is to extract the carriers component. So here if we look at this output, so we can see that okay, the carrier component is this one. Okay, so we will use a band pass filter, okay, which will be actually have a cutoff frequency of omega c. It will be only pass out this frequency component. Okay, so after the band pass filter, what will happen? We will get only this frequency component with this message, okay, amplitude multiplier. Okay, cosine of 2 times of omega ct. Okay, so that will be our output of the band pass filter. But our target is cosine of omega ct. So what will we do? We will use a divider here, divided by 2. So what will happen? This is a frequency divider, and after that what will we get? Cosine of omega ct. Okay, and then there will be some just amplitude multiplier. Let's represent with k. So k times of cosine of omega ct. So that is actually our carrier signal, which is actually present in the modulated signal. Okay, so with the synchronizer we can extract exactly actual signal, and that will resolve the problems of the lack of frequency or phase synchronization. Okay, but now if you have a look here, what are the advantages of the synchronizer? Problems of phase or frequency synchronization are gone. Okay, but now the circuitry of the demodulator for the double sideband suppressed carrier has become more complex. If you guys remember, if we have the full AM modulator, so we just use a diode, we just use a capacitor, we just use a resistor, okay, invalid detectors. That was our demodulator circuit, simplest. Okay, but now if you have a look at here, okay, in the double sideband suppressed carrier, what you need a modulated signal. So first you need a synchronizer block. Inside synchronizer block you have to implement this whole thing. Okay, and here you will get the carrier signal. Okay, then you will multiply this message signal with this carrier signal. Okay, and then you will use a low pass filter and go on. Okay, so basically the complexity of the demodulator block has been increased, okay, in the double sideband suppressed carrier. Okay, but what was the advantages? We will getting the higher power efficiency here. Okay, that was the advantage of the double sideband. Okay, so let me stop here. We will see the relevant examples and the more details, and we will see the next type of the demodulation, which is actually single sideband, in the live session. Thank you very much for your time.